Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple with another YouTube demo for you today. Now, over the past few weeks we've been getting lots and lots of boxes in the store, and inside one of those boxes were the new Spellbinders embossing folders called M-Bossabilities. That's the letter M-Bossabilities. These are really fun embossing folders and they're very unique. They have a different feature that we haven't seen before from Spellbinders or from Cuttlebug or Sizzix for that matter, and I want to show you how to use them. Now, as you know, here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, the Sizzix Big Shot machine is the die cutting machine of choice. So I want to really focus on how to use these new Spellbinders M-Bossabilities with your Big Shot machine. So I have got some tips and tricks and some demos and some card samples for you. So we're going to go ahead and tilt on down and get started for today. Okay, down we go. Bye. All right, how's that? I think that's pretty good. So today, what do we have for you? We have, can you see it? It's M-Bossabilities. That's say that 3 times fast. And these are new embossing folders by Spellbinders. Now they're different than what we've seen before from Sizzix or Cuttlebug or even Spellbinders, and I want to show you why. And to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is start off with a Cuttlebug and a Sizzix embossing folder. And here's a Sizzix and here's a Cuttlebug. And you can see they look very much alike, just different sizes only because I pulled 2 different size folders. But what's important to note is that the top is flat. Can you see how flat that is? I'm getting a reflection off the light so you can see that it is a flat surface on the top and the bottom. And that's true for the Cuttlebug and the Sizzix folder. The embossing template is on the inside of the folder where you have a raised side and a debossed side, a down side. So you have a male and a female side, and when you put your paper together and they squish together and you run it through your die cutting machine, it creates a very nice embossing. The Spellbinders Embossabilities are a little bit different. Can you see? I hope. They're white, so it makes it a little difficult. There is, instead of it being smooth like the Sizzix and the Cuttlebug, there's an actual design on this side and this side. So on the outside of the folder, there is a design, and then when you open it up on the inside of the folder, there is a different design. Yes, you get 2 different embossing folders with just the one. You run it, you put your paper in this way, you get this embossing, you open it up and you flip it around and you've got an entirely different pattern and design. Completely different than anything we've ever seen. Even the color's different. As you can see, it's white, it's not translucent. So if you run your paper, you put it in here, you've got one design, you open it up and flip it over, you've got an entirely different design. 2 for the price of 1. Very unique. I really like them. We've been playing with them all day today, so I'm going to show you how to use them. And they do come in 2 different sizes, just quickly. You've got an A2 size and you've got the larger size here, and this happens to be the music note. I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's the music note. And you've got the score here on the outside, but if I open it up and flip it around, then I've got all different types of notes. Let's see, do I have the, here's the card. So if you run it one way, you have different types of music notes, and if you flip it around, you've got that embossing. So 2 for the price of 1, all in one folder. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to play, because this is really important. If you don't take anything else away from this today, I need you to take this away from it, because we're going to be using our Big Shot machine, which, as you know, like I said before, at Scrapbooking Made Simple, this is our die cutting machine of choice. It is by far the best die cutting machine on the market. It stands the test of time. It is a true blue workhorse here in the store. So we're going to start with one of the smaller folders. Now, in the past, I've always told you that I have a plate that says, do not cut, do not cut on it, because I want one plate, one of my cutting pads, to always be smooth to give me a very nice working surface. Today, we're not going to need that. Unlike every other time I've ever showed you to use your Big Shot machine, today, where we usually sandwich, we usually use 2 cutting plates or a cutting plate and a textured impression pad, something. We've always sandwiched the die or the embossing folder in between 2 of something. This time, it's different. This time, you are only going to use 1 cutting plate. That's it, no more. Now inside with your Big Shot machine, you would have received your multi-purpose platform, and you are going to need that to use your M-Bossabilities from Spellbinders. You're going to leave your platform completely closed. Completely closed. We're going to go ahead and put a piece of paper inside our M-Bossabilities. Let's do the flower first. I'm going to put a piece of paper inside. I'm going to close it up. I am not going to put a cutting pad on the top of my multi-purpose platform. No clear cutting pad. I'm going to put my Embossability straight on top of my cutting pad. And I'm going to put a clear plate over it. So the sandwich is your multi-purpose platform completely closed, your Embossability Spellbinder embossing folder, and then 1 clear plate over the top. That is your sandwich. I'm going to squeeze it in and run it through. Pull it out. And this is what we get. Now let me just take a little bit of chalk here. Actually Memento ink, because I love the dewdrop sizes. And I'm just going to kind of go over the top of it just so you can see the embossing. So there we go. And it is a true embossing. You get a nice deeply etched emboss. Okay? So now we've done the flower. I've put it through, put my paper in, ran it through, and I got the flower. Now I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take my Embossability and I'm going to flip it around so that this label, the Spellbinder label, is now on the inside of the folder. That is going to give me an entirely different embossing folder. I'm going to put another piece of paper in. Again, I'm going to use my multi-purpose platform completely closed. Put my folder directly onto the platform and take 1 clear plate and put it over my folder and run it through. This time I have a completely different embossing. This time I have butterflies. Let me run some ink over it so you can see. So a completely different embossing folder by just flipping it open and turning it around. So this time I have butterflies. So from the same embossing folder, I got flowers and I've got butterflies by doing a simple flip. This way, 1, flip it open and turn around, and a completely different style embossing folder. So 2 for the price of 1. I think it's a great idea. I really like it. I can see that the plastic is a little bit heavier, it's a little bit thicker, and that's the reason why you do not use 2 cutting plates. Even if you open your multi-purpose platform to the base plate, you still cannot get it through with 2 cutting plates Please don't do this. You're going to harm your new embossing folder, and that would be a shame. Oh my gosh, they're so much fun. I love having the two. So when you do it just one more time, you're going to use your multi-purpose platform completely closed, your Spellbinder Embossability, and your top plate, a top cutting plate. And that's how you're going to send it through. It will work perfectly. It will not damage your machine. It will not damage your new embossing folder, and you'll get wonderful results. Now, what else can you do with these? Well, yes, you can use them with shimmer sheets. Absolutely. We've talked about shimmer sheets before, and I have got a piece of shimmer sheets here, and the shimmer sheets are from Elizabeth Crafts Designs, and I'm just going to put it on in. I'm going to lay it right on top of my multi-purpose platform. I'm going to go ahead and send it on through. And open it up, and there you go. There's the embossing. Now I could take this and sand this down, and the white would come through. We've talked about that on earlier YouTubes. So works on shimmer sheets without any problem. What else can I do? Well, Spellbinders has foils. And they have these wonderful foils, and they are a true foil. It's a metal foil. This happens to be the precious metals, and you get an assortment of colors. They have one in jewel tones, and again, an assortment of colors. And then they have a pastel with different colors. So all three packages give you different colors. I happen to like the precious metals. I think they're absolutely beautiful. But it is a true foil. Can you hear that? It sounds like tin. It is heavier than your aluminum foil. Do they still call it that? Reynolds wrap, whatever they call it. It's heavier than that, but not as heavy as like a vintage metal. So this is a really nice foil, but as you can see, it dents very easily, whereas the shimmer sheets don't. The shimmer sheets have a little more flexibility to them because they're a plastic and not a foil. However, when you emboss with this, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I am going to do that for you right now. I have a piece right here, and let's grab a different folder. Let's grab this one here. I've got a pattern on this side and what looks like leaves on this side. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put it in. I'm going to take my multi-purpose platform with no cutting plate on the bottom, and then I'm going to put my cutting plate on the top here, and I'm going to send it through. And out we go. Beautiful, isn't it? Now we could do the same thing that we do with shimmer sheets with this foil. This is a non-porous material. So what kind of ink do we use with a non-porous material? Can I hear you all say it? StaysOn, StaysOn by Sukuniko. That is our favorite ink for non-porous materials, plastics and foils and metals and anything non-porous, acetate. So we're going to open it up, and remember, it comes with this little plastic cap that goes over the top of it. I wonder if this one has it, if my red one has it. Ah, my red one does. Comes with this little plastic extra little lid. Don't throw that away for your StaysOn. Be smart, don't throw it away. What I recommend you do is just take 2 pop dots, put them in the lid of your StaysOn, and attach that extra little piece right here to those pop dots so you never lose it. Okay, so I've got my black StaysOn here and my gold. And I'm going to do just what I do when I work with a shimmer sheet. I'm going to rub it straight on. Okay, now I've got some samples already done. Here is a sample. Now this has the pattern debossed. So the gold is set down in, and it's the StaysOn is hitting the top. Here's the exact same folder only this time the dots are embossed and they're raised where the background is now debossed. So same exact folder, just with the embossed side and the debossed side. All done with the metal and stays on ink. Pretty, isn't it? Okay, two totally different looks though from the exact same folder. You really have an amazing opportunity to play. And this is just one side of that folder. I didn't even do the leaf side. I could flip this folder this way and now have a completely different pattern to do this with again, all in one folder. So that's working with the foils. I have to say, I think the foils are beautiful. The colors are rich. They're just very, very easy to use. They're good size, and a little goes a long way. So the three, again, are the jewel tone, the delicate pastels, and the precious metals. Okay, moving on. So now we have done just some basic embossing for you. We've played with a little bit of the shimmer sheet and we've played with a little bit of the foil. This time I'm going to actually add ink to the embossing folder. So I think I'm going to use this one again. And I'm going to add ink. Now, as you know, we really like our Memento ink. It's the best all-purpose ink out there, we feel. If you're working with Copic markers, you need to use Memento ink. And if you're not working with Copic markers for a dye-based ink, it works beautifully. The colors are rich, they're lovely, they're bright, and they come in the Memento dewdrop size, and they come in full-size pads as well as markers and re-inkers. So they've really covered the whole base for you. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up the inside of my embossing folder. And I want to tell you, when you do this, you want to start with your lightest color first. So if I'm going to use the yellow and the pink and the orange, I'm going to start with the yellow, my lightest color first. And I'm going just to apply that straight to my embossing folder. And because you never know which side's going to come out better and which side you're going to like more, I'm going to apply it to both sides. And then I have my choice. I can pick which side I like to use for my card or my project. So I've got some yellow on there. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the pink and I'm just going to spot it. I'm just going to hit it. A little bit of the pink. And then maybe just a little bit of the orange. Maybe just a little bit of the orange. All right, I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to stick it right in there, close it up, bring back my Sizzix Big Shot machine. I've got my multi-purpose platform, my embossing folder, my clear plate. Remember, we are not sandwiching it between two clear plates, and I'm going to send it on through. And this is what I've got. The ink has been forced into the embossing and the debossed side. Very simple, beautiful to do, makes perfect background paper. How fun is that? I mean, you can just blend colors as much as you want. And the Memento ink does such a good job. And I do recommend for this process, I do recommend the dewdrop size. They're $2.10 and they're the perfect size to get in there to pad around. If you're using a full-size pad, it's a little bit big. You can't get the different hits. You're going to get too much of any one color. So I love the little dewdrop sizes because this is a perfect application for them. Lets you really blend the color. Now to clean this, okay, easy peasy. I can't even tell you how easy this is. Baby wipe this is from Sam's Club. We get them from Sam's Club. We get their brand. Wipes right off. Completely off. Isn't that wonderful? No staining, nothing. Now, if you use a satz-on, I can't promise that it won't stain, but I can tell you with the Memento, not a problem. Wipes completely off, ready for use again. Now, I could do the butterflies on this side, and we did. Did I do a butterfly? No, let's do a butterfly really quick. So this time, I have taken my embossing folder. I used the flower side to do this. I'm going to open it up, flip it around, and let's ink it up again. This time let's use some pinks. So I've got a very light pink here. We'll do some pinks. And remember, I'm doing both sides because you just don't know which side you're going to like better. A little bit of pink going on there. And then maybe a light green. Just kind of hit it. There's no right and there's no wrong. You're just kind of hitting it wherever you think it might look good. And then how about just a little bit more of the bright pink? Just kind of hit it all over. Then I'm going to take my piece of paper. I'm going to put it in, close it up, bring over my Sizzix Big Shot machine, and send it on through. And by now I don't even have to tell you that you're not going to sandwich it between two cutting plates because you all remember that. I'm going to send it on through. And there we go. There we go. The ink has been forced in, and it's left us a background paper. Very similar to this one. Here I did it with just black Memento ink. Same embossing folder, but this one's done with just black. And there's the back side. This one I did with the music notes and just black. And there's the back side. Done with the music notes. This folder here. Took my Memento ink, just rubbed it on both sides, put my paper in, closed it up, and sent it through. And that's what I got. Very easy to do, and gives a whole new dimension to your embossing folders. Clean up, simple wipe down, no problem. And it's done and ready to use again. Okay, so what have we learned here today? We have learned that the Spellbinder Embossability folders are really two folders in one, depending on which side of the folder you use. Instead of it being a flat, smooth surface on the exterior of the folder like you would find with a Sizzix or a Cuttlebug, this actually has a pattern built into the outside of the folder and the inside of the folder. So you get two different patterns with one folder, just depending on which side you use. And it's just as easy as flipping it open and closed. It's that simple. We know that we can absolutely still use them with our shimmer sheets, and they do a beautiful job, as well as the Spellbinders foil. Love the foil. Absolutely gorgeous. We know that we can take our folder and we can take our inks, our Memento inks, add the ink straight to the folder, both sides, straight to the folder, put a couple different inks in there, and get different results. Here we've done it again with just the black, and here we have done it with the color. Now I also took a piece of paper, embossed it, and then ran the ink straight over the top of the paper. This one was just taking a straight embossing, taking the ink, and literally running the ink right over the top of my embossing. Just gently doing it. And that's what makes these size so great. You couldn't do that with a full-size pad. And I have to tell you, the pads don't fall off. They're really nice. The pads stay where they're supposed to stay, so that's an important feature to know. And there's one where I have just run the ink right over the top of the embossing. Okay, I want to show you some samples that we've done for you. Let's move this kind of out of the way. And again, the foil, it really is foil. Here it kind of sounds like tin. And it comes in the different sets, and we have them all for you online and in the store. But let me show you some samples that we've done. Here we go. Again, you can see the embossed foil behind it. Beautiful, isn't it? There's one. Then we've got this sample, the Best Wishes sample. Let's get it right side. The Best Wishes sample. And you can see we used the folder on color core paper, where we put the paper through the embossing folder, took our sandpaper and sanded it down to where it was color core. That way the embossing is shown through. It raises it up. It becomes easier to see. Then we also have, I love this one. We have this card here, and we used the Tim Holtz craft core paper on this. So we sent the paper into the embossing folder, put it through the Sizzix Big Shot machine, and then we took our sand it gadget and we sanded the top of the embossing, leaving the craft coming through. That's craft core paper by Tim Holtz, and it's a Coordinations product, and it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, and we have here for you another card. Now this one we actually embossed on a patterned paper, and then again took our sand it gadget and sanded it down on patterned paper. So you can absolutely use that embossing folder on patterned paper. And then we took a little bit of light pink ink and went over the top. Isn't that a pretty card? I love that card. Next we have another with a foil. Again, we ran the Spellbinder foil right through their embossing folders, gave it a little bit of a sanding to distress it and have a little bit of the silver come through. And finally, right here, where we have embossed here and run a little bit of ink over the top just to have the embossing come through. We also embossed again on the foil and made little corners out of the foil. All right, and this is a Spellbinder label. I want to say it's labels 19, but I'm not 100% positive right now. So, I hope we have learned something new today. We have got the beautiful, beautiful Spellbinders embossing folders, M-Bossabilities, in stock for you. I'm going to go ahead and scroll on up. And I'm going to say, hey, this is Daisy at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and where are you going to find all of these fabulous products to buy? You are going to find them in our retail store or online at www.scrapbooking-made-simple.com. scrapbooking-made-simple.com. And yes, they'll be on a YouTube Yummy. We will have all of the Spellbinders M-Bossabilities on sale for 15% off, as well as some of the other stuff we used, the Memento inks. Ooh, I don't know if I can put those on sale. They're still way on back order. We're hoping that they come in soon. But pre-order yours now, the Memento inks. We do have all the dewdrop sizes in stock though. So we do have the dewdrop sizes, so maybe we'll put those on sale as well. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.